I said check it. I was watching this thing earlier where Neil Magny, Mackenzie Dern, Edson Barboza, and Ian Garry, all four of them were asked, like, yo, what's the craziest thing you've ever had to do to make weight? Neil Magny's kind of like, nothing too crazy, just cranking up the heat in the car with my sauna suit on while I'm driving to the venue. Mackenzie Dern said her coach fixed her big glass of IPA so she could drink it and get dehydrated. Edson Barboza said, well, there's been times where I pass out from cutting weight, then wake up and have to cut weight some more. And when Ian Garry gets asked about that, Gary goes, yeah, I cut weight more professionally than any other fighter in UFC history. And that's kind of the equivalent to, let's just say you and two homeboys, y'all are getting ready for a watch party. Y'all either watching, like, I don't know, the Super Bowl, the Daytona 500, or UFC 330. And one of the homeboys asked, like, hey, you mind if I bring my buddy from the steel mill? They're like, yeah, the more the merrier. Friend of yours, friend of ours, bring him. So y'all are watching the Super Bowl or the Daytona 500 or the UFC fights, and it's either in between fights or halftime during the game or during the race. Y'all are drunk, hooting and hollering, carrying on. The vibes are good. And y'all, the subject gets brought up and y'all are trading crazy sex stories. And one of them says, yeah, there was this one time back in 2019, I had to miss UFC 241 because I had to go drive and hook up with this chick, and we went to hooking up, and her ass was so hairy, like not the normal amount of hairy, like I'm talking like koala bear level hairy. Then it was like, oh, that's sick. And then the other guy, he goes, well, yeah, there was this one time back when Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira were duking it out for the BMF title, and I had this girl come over to the apartment, and we were having sex while the fight was going on. And since I was kind of having sex and watching the fight and being semi-impressed with what Oliveira was doing to Holloway, I didn't know, but she had started her period while we're having sex, and I didn't know until it's too late, and now I have a permanent stain on my comforter. And then the other guy goes, oh, yeah, there's one time back in April of 2025, this girl came over to my apartment, and she stuck her tongue down the tip of her tongue down my urethra, and it sent chills all the way down from the back of my knees to the back of my neck, and it was borderline life-changing. And then you ask the dude, the buddy from the steel mill, hey, you got a crazy sex story? And he goes, oh, the only girl I've been with is my wife. I never got into that hookup stuff. That's what that was like. I don't like Ian Machado Gary. He's fucking lame as fuck.